Hey Jesse, I'm in my 40s and I am interested in dating women in their 20s. Is that realistic? What do you recommend? Peter. Hey Jesse, I'm 52 years old and I would like to date a younger woman. What's your best single tip for me? Jake. All right. In this video, I'm going to give you my number one tip for dating younger women, which means dating women who are in their early 20s or even in their late teens. Even if, my friend, you are in your 30s or your 40s or your 50s, or say you are even in your 60s and you want to date women in their early 30s. Yes, absolutely, it can be done. And this tip here is the first tip I give a guy when I'm consulting him one-on-one. And what I'm about to reveal is going to surprise you in a big way and make you really think. Perhaps change the whole direction of your life and allow you to start dating those most beautiful women most men wouldn't even dare to try. But real quick, take a second to subscribe, and here's why. What other channel is going to brazenly talk about dating far younger women and give you the tips that you really crave? Well, I'll tell you, it's none. No other channel out there will do it. I don't have to tell you that this is a highly controversial topic and most other people do not want you dating younger women. Other women are gonna hate you for it. Other guys are gonna be very jealous of you. And YouTube itself doesn't want to be associated with anything even remotely controversial. So if you watch this one video and then leave without subscribing, well, you may never find it again. And then you're never going to discover what I'm going to reveal to you in the coming weeks and months, and you're going to miss out. That's why, my friend, you need to hit that subscribe button, because you were lucky finding this once, but you may not be so lucky a second time. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button before you forget. All right, so my number one tip for dating far younger girls is this. There's a lot of negative social pressure and shaming and judging from society, from men, from women about you dating a far younger girl. Older women are just going to jump at the chance to shame you and stop you. Why? It's because you're taking yourself, an eligible bachelor, off the market to them. And when other men see you dating a far younger girl, those other men might say, "My God, I didn't realize it. It's possible." And now they get the same idea too. And older women absolutely hate that, because when an older gentleman figures out that he can date a far younger woman, that decreases the sexual market value of older women. Other women see that as a threat, and they're going to shame you and judge you and shame you and judge you. And from their perspective, they'll see it as their righteous morality to do so. It's the same way that women will shame paid escorts. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a whole slew of good reasons not to pay for escorts. But just like dating younger women, paying for escorts likewise decreases a woman's sexual market value. If a man can simply pay for sex and sex suddenly becomes very easily available, well then suddenly the price of the woman's vagina everywhere, it falls. Men suddenly aren't as sexually needy and thirsty anymore, and they're not going to try to win a woman over as hard. Why get married and buy her a house and a car and devote everything to her when you can just get laid real cheap right down the street? So it's for that reason that women generally despise prostitution. Much in the same way that women hate the idea of you as an older man dating younger women. Women perceive both as a grave threat. And you see women's fear and anger about this reflected in the mass media culture all the time. Like these big box office, multi-billion-dollar movies in the cinema. Understandably, studio executives, they want to bring in as many people to the theater as possible. So the movie industry makes the films politically correct in ways you may not even notice. For example, in the first Thor movie, Thor's girlfriend, played by the actress Natalie Portman, was at the time 30 years old. In the Superman movie, Man of Steel, Superman's girlfriend, played by the actress Amy Adams, was at the time 40 years old. Imagine that. Thor's girlfriend, 30 years old. Superman's girlfriend, 40 years old. The most powerful, arguably the most desirable men on the planet dating older women? Is that how it would really go down in reality. But, if your job is to get people into that theater, it does make sense in terms of selling movie tickets. Just play it real safe with women. Get those women into the theater. Because we gotta make Superman a good guy and does not represent a threat to our sexual market value in any way. In fact, nowadays, whenever you see a big budget movie, the girlfriend is almost always the same age as her boyfriend, or older, just to play it safe. To not ruffle any feathers and get that female audience mad. And that's what you see in the mass media. Over and over and over again. And it becomes this very subtle cultural conditioning where you just expect that super high status men who have all the world at their fingertips just date older women. And it's promoted that that's the norm and that's what a good guy should do. So when you decide, my friend, that you want to be the man to be dating far younger women, you gotta expect you're gonna be shamed, heavily shamed. By other men, by other women, but you've got to remember this. Women out there are looking out for their own sexual interests, not yours. What do women really care about you and your genetic self-interests? Essentially, nothing. Zero. Women are looking out for themselves, which means squashing right away whatever idea you might have about dating a far younger woman. But my friend, the surprise is that there is one group that actually wants you to date far younger women and will be your ally to make it happen. And you need to seek this group out. I'm gonna reveal who that is in just a second. But real quick, I wanna bring your attention to a video that you've gotta watch right here at csets.com. This is a special video that will lead you down that path toward dating any girl you want, whether she's much younger than you, or more pretty than you think you can get, or simply getting a girl you've been crushing on for weeks or months. Even if you've just maybe accidentally, creeped her out a bit, or she's ghosted on you and you just want to get her back. This video here is going to show you how to do it. To get that girl of your dreams and pull her back into your love orbit. So go check it out right here at csets.com because it's gonna surprise you and very well change your dating life forever. Now, I mentioned that there is one group that wants you to date younger women and will be your ally to make it happen. And it's funny too because which group of women will not shame you about dating a younger woman? There is one group that's cool with it, and that is in fact younger women themselves. Assuming that you're an older guy who has taken good care of himself, then younger women are cool with it. Heck, to a younger woman, if anything, it's just more masculine attention for herself. And every woman wants to be the center of male attention. Every woman wants to have the whole world adore her. She's a younger lady, and there's this cool older gentleman who has taken an interest in her. Well, that's great for her. She doesn't mind. It's just more validation feeding into her, if nothing else. So younger women are cool with it. She's not going to shame you. She's not going to judge you. So surprisingly, the one group of women that is cool with you dating much younger women are the younger women themselves. In fact, let's take a look at this paradox. Let's imagine a woman who is, say, 30 years old, and she's now at that age where her sexual marketplace value is on the decline. Her carefree partying days are now coming to a fast close because guys don't pay attention to her the same way that they used to. And she suddenly sees that writing on the wall and suddenly she wants to get married, maybe have kids. She just turned 30 and now she's feeling the pressure. The pressure is on. Now imagine there's a successful guy, handsome guy she works with who's a couple years older. He's 35 years old, but he's dating a much younger woman who is 23. That was her guy. That was the perfect man for her, but he's been taken off that market by that young little bimbo. And that 30-year-old woman who is now on the decline with her sexual marketplace value is going to absolutely hate that. Judge, judge, judge. Shame him, shame him, shame him. In fact, she'll more than just wag her finger at him. He is a disgusting pervert. But watch this. This is the paradox of how women think. She is a 30-year-old woman and she hates the fact that this guy she works with is dating a younger woman. But now, say a far older, handsome, fit, suave, cool gentleman who is 15 years older than her, he's 45 years old, he suddenly takes an interest in her. He throws her a compliment, he starts flirting with her, he starts paying her attention. Well, now she's perfectly fine with that. That's fine. Even if she doesn't go for the older guy, ultimately, well, she likes the validation, she likes the attention. So in one breath, a woman will shame and judge the older guy chasing a younger girl, and then in the other breath, literally a moment later, be perfectly loving the attention of an older guy herself. In one moment, she's shaming and judging that age difference, and the very next moment, embracing the age difference, all depending if it benefits her personally or not. The point is, when it comes to dating younger women, the morality of it, it's all relative. Women are going to shame and judge other women, and they're going to shame you. But when a suave, older gentleman like yourself hits on her, well then, suddenly, all of a sudden, it magically becomes okay with her. And look, it's not just women who do this. Both men and women do this all the time, where we love it when the sexual odds are tilted in our favor, and we hate it when the sexual marketplace tilts away from us. And when we find that we can't compete anymore, we shame, we judge. And we men, we're guilty of this too. For example, say there's this wealthy, rich, good-looking kid who is spending all of his dad's money, and he's driving this hot red sports car paid by dad, and he's got some game on top of that. He comes across as kind of cool, kind of suave. Well, other men are going to shame him for being a douchebag. Other men are going to whisper behind his back that he's got a small pecker and he's just trying to compensate for it. And then you'll find other men shaming pickup techniques because they feel that's a threat. It's an unfair advantage against them. And that's just what we human beings do. Right or wrong, we always want to tilt the sexual marketplace in our favor, and if we can't compete, we'll shame, we'll judge others. And because each of us human beings is in a different position in life, we're all in different positions in the sexual marketplace, we just shame and judge different groups of people for different reasons with different criterias of morality. But we all do it from time to time. We're all a little bit guilty of this. So if you, my friend, want to date far younger women, well, it's not going to happen unless you yourself 100% embrace the idea that it is morally good, that it's an awesome thing to do, and even noble. And you've just got to expect that women, most women and men too, are absolutely going to hate you for it. Society at large, the mass media, they're going to shame you for it. They're going to judge you for it. Even other men who want to date younger women themselves, who you'd think would be on your side, might not be cool with you going after younger girls because, well, you're just more competition for them. So ironically, the group most okay with you dating younger girls are going to be the younger girls themselves. Because younger women have a genuine sexual marketplace interest in you being interested in them. So if you really, really want to date younger women, and this is not just a fantasy inside your head, well, then you're going to have to be okay with being a bit of a pariah in society. You're just going to have to come to terms with being chill and cool and okay with the fact that most people are not going to like you much for it. And look, you can't get mad or feel butthurt about that. It's always going to be like that in the future. The situation is not going to change. You got two options here. It's either don't stand out, don't make any waves, and be the harmless, super friendly, nice guy who does nothing wrong, that does nothing to offend anybody, or date much younger women and piss off virtually just about everybody. But that's life. You can't have both. You got to choose one or the other. So my big question for you now is, if you make the choice to go after younger women, can you free yourself from the social conditioning of society at large? Can you openly embrace that identity of being a man that talks to and flirts and dates much younger women? Can you do that really? Are you cool with being that kind of man that stands out and everyone sees what's going on and you're just all right with that? Are you going to embrace and be okay with and even all right with most other people disliking you for it? Are you going to be cool and relaxed about this whole situation and just letting judgment and shaming bounce off of you? Do you believe that sexual morality is really a matter of perspective? That people's morality and their judging and their shaming is a very self-serving morality and probably not in your own interests? Can you really free yourself from that societal and cultural conditioning? Where, yeah, I know, on the surface at least, you're cool with the idea of dating a much younger girl, but deep down, maybe you still think it's not really you. Deep down in those limiting beliefs shaped by society, maybe you still think younger women would never really be interested in an older gentleman like yourself. Other men, other women, society, it does shame a lot, and maybe deep down there you still feel that shame. Where on one level it's easy to think, fuck society, I don't care what they think, I can date a younger girl if I want. But on an even deeper level, deep inside, you still hold back. You still feel kind of off about it. You haven't fully embraced it as you 100%. Now imagine this for a quick second. You see a younger girl over there, you want to talk to her, you want to flirt with her. Are you going to feel wrong? Are you going to feel slight shame? Are you going to feel awkward going up to her? Because it's limiting beliefs like those just beneath the surface that will prevent you from ever approaching her or ever talking to her. And even if you do muster up the balls to go over there and say hello to her, then you just come across as too uptight and nervous, too much of a nice guy, way too nice, where you hold everything back, you're filtering everything you say, you act too conservatively. And the conversation, it just stalls there, friend to friend, where you're seeking her approval. It's lacking any real sexual tension. And that's just what happens to older gentlemen 99% of the time, because deep down, in truth, they really still buy into all the cultural conditioning. They never, ever, never end up dating a younger woman because they feel judged and they judge themselves. They feel undeserving, they feel awkward about it, and they get nowhere with younger women. I mean, look, that societal shaming is very extremely effective, and 99% of men can't get past it. Most guys, they just want to be as comfortable as possible. They want to be liked by everybody rather than ruffle a few feathers and go for what they really want. So that's my tip. If you want to date much younger women, you've got to embrace it fully, 100%. No half-assing it. And there's no reality of dating younger women and also having everybody like you, or even having anybody like you, and trying to keep one foot in both worlds. That doesn't work. But once you embrace that, that's when you can start really getting results. Now, lucky for you, my friend, I've got more videos here that are gonna pop up on the screen on dating younger women with practical tips for older gentlemen like yourself of what they need to do to make it happen. So go check those videos out and watch them right now. All right, thank you so much for joining me, my friend. It was a pleasure doing this for you. I will catch you next time. Jesse out.